Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and before we get into the topic of today's video, guys, my shirt is here. Look at it! Look at it! Jesse shot first. I'm so stoked about this shirt. Anna, that Star Wars girl, designed this for me. I'm very, very excited. You can get your own at Teespring. There'll be a link up at the end of the video, so make sure you head over to Teespring and get your Jesse shot first shirt. How cool is that? Oh my god, I'm so excited. Anyway, today we're going to talk about some fun information about Aladdin, right? Not the movie though, but Disney released a prequel comic, and CBR, which is quickly becoming my favorite online publication, covered this with the title of their article something along the lines of Aladdin becomes a full social justice warrior in Disney's prequel comic. So first of all, I told you so. In case for anyone, people going around all the time being like, SJW was just a made-up word by alt-right assholes to me. No. They invented this term for themselves, and they use it unironically for themselves. In the case in point, this context right here. So, told you so. I didn't make it up. People who hate them didn't make it up. Alt-right douchebags didn't make it up. No, they made it up, and we just acknowledge how effing stupid it is and apply it to them ironically. Which is ironic because these people are also hipsters who invented the word irony, so it's fine. Anyway, so this article, and then in an even more precious moment, this article goes on to give a little disclaimer before it gets into the meat of it, saying that it contains spoilers for the Disney Aladdin movie. If you need to be warned about spoilers for Aladdin, you're probably also the kind of person that would enjoy going to play in a pit of very venomous and angry snakes. So I recommend you go do that. Have fun. And then it goes into detail, the plot of these comics, which is that Aladdin is not just stealing for himself, and this is, again, prequel, this is pre-events of the actual story. They're retconning his entire character now to say, he runs around the streets of Agrabah trying to scoop up little orphans and takes them to an orphanage so they can grow up right, and only steals to get food for the orphans. Why, Disney? Why do you hate character development? What is this new strange world? This is a world that no one can live in, because the new narrative is that there are no flawed characters anymore. You cannot be flawed. They're erasing the anti-hero. They're just, never mind that one of the funnest stories that exist is to have your anti-hero who starts out a little rough around the edges and does things that are morally questionable sometimes, and then comes around to just being a better person. That's a good story. I mean, there's nothing wrong. And that's the whole thing. It's not like Aladdin is just an a-hole from the beginning. It's not like he runs around being like, I'm a dick. Yeah, he's like kind of a dick to, palace guards, but they're all trying to kill him anyway. Gotta eat to live, gotta steal to eat. Tell you more about it if I had the time. So he lays it out for you right there. He's not doing anything bad. And then, of course, you see that goodness in him when he gives away his half of the bread to the little orphan children. But come on. This guy spends his entire day stealing enough to eat, to live, and then running away from the popo so that he doesn't get dead. When does he have time to wrangle orphans? That's just ridiculous. And also then it's not a growth story. Then it's just a story about the best guy in the world who happened to be poor and finally got everything he deserved when the princess married him. And it's like, well, that's not interesting. Interesting characters are characters who start out sucking. John Smith, who starts out being like, you're a savage. And then it's like, wait a second, you're hot. If I'm attracted to you, you must be a decent person. These are the kinds of beautiful narratives that we're looking for, right? Aladdin, I just want to, I'm just the man. I just want to be free and have all these things. And then realizing, there are more important things. Learning lessons about telling the truth and being good to your friends by setting the genie free at the end and all of that. Like that's how Disney used to be. It's like these little Aesop's fables, morality tales. Not this business of everyone was a good person from the beginning. How do you learn? We don't relate to that. Now what you're doing is that you're hurting the entire cause of making people better, because you're like, here's a character that looks nothing like you and acts nothing like you and is nothing like you, and they just continue to be awesome and get nice things. How do you teach? Where's the right and wrong here when you don't have that example of this person made these bad decisions and had these negative consequences. This is Jill Disney for children. That's how learning happens. It's not just do the good thing because the good thing. Wouldn't that be great if we lived in that world? But we don't. It's got to be here's the good things, here are the good things that happen when you do the good things, but also here are the bad things that happens when you do the good things. And you can't just put this all into separate characters. Your good guys always do good things, and your bad guys always do bad things. When you're appealing to children and you're teaching children about these things, it is just as important for the children to see their heroes make mistakes and suffer the consequences of their mistakes, because the children identified with that character, right? They're in their shoes. The consequences that happen to a bad guy don't feel real to them, because that's not a real person to them. That's not who they are. That's not who they relate to. If they see the real person making the mistakes, being not great, and then growing into a better person and getting the good things, and then having negative consequences for the mistakes they make, that is how learning. Because last time I checked, part of making good children's media was teaching children good lessons about how to be good people. But no, it's about social justice. That's it, social justice. Which is like, and that's also, by the way, social justice warrior. A warrior fights people. Running around scooping up orphans off the street and putting them in an orphanage is not being a warrior. That's just so pathetically bastardized. And this no go figure, because these people have no respect for the use of language whatsoever. I'm a warrior. No! You're just a good person doing good things, and that's fine. You don't have to be a fucking warrior, though. Because then this is the problem, right? What do warriors do? They fight bad guys. Being a warrior justifies fighting. Justifies fighting people you've decided are the bad guys. Like when you have a hammer, everything's a nail. When you're a warrior, everyone's an enemy. Guess what happens when you make everyone your enemy? We don't get along! So it needs to stop this business of, warrior, I'm fighting for justice, I'm battling the evils of the patriarchy. This language is just making things worse. This is the thing. You point fingers at people like me, being like, how come you're so hateful and sowing discord everywhere and just complaining about things? I want everyone to get the fuck along. That's what I want. And in order to do that, some people need to take their big fat heads and their big fat asses and stop doing things like retconning Aladdin's entire past to change the entire purpose of his character to make him less relatable. It just doesn't, there's no reason for it. You're destroying the entire purpose of a character arc when you're creating these characters who never have a chance to grow because they're never allowed to have flaws. You're creating these ridiculous expectations, which is exactly what social justice warriors do. They live in this idealized little world in their mind that doesn't exist, and they expect it to just happen like that now. And they have no patience or tolerance for people who make mistakes or are imperfect. So you're just reinforcing these shitty behaviors and these shitty ideas that allow these people to run around thinking that the way they act is good and just. And now you want children to grow up thinking that too. Oh, well, you're like Jafar and not Aladdin, so it's okay for me to punch you in the face. And when you include language like warriors, you justify those ideas. You're justifying hatred and you're justifying violence, and it's wrong! And that is what I wanted to talk about today. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and press the like button. Drop your comments, share the video, all of those things. I'm always curious to hear your thoughts and your feedback. Also, if you do want this shirt, that link is going to be popping up any minute down in one of these corners. You should absolutely get this shirt because it's awesome. Jessie shot first. Yes, she did. And then LA Cheesesteak Review, we are dropping our trailer as early as tomorrow. So make sure you're subscribed to that. That's down in the corner as well. And then other things, just click Get Involved with Me if you want to know more about my Patreon, my Teespring, my business contact, different ways to get in contact with me and support this channel. You can find me on Twitter at Jesse Milestone, on Instagram at Mindless Entertainment, and I appreciate all of you. All of your support is the only reason that I do this, so thank you very much. God Empress out.